Let's face it, Pokemon is one of the greatest video game series of all time. Ever since its inception 20 years ago in 1996, it has captivated the minds of millions of people worldwide, whether it be through the games, the anime, the trading card game, and a shit ton of cute toys. 2016 was quite a spectacular one for video games. From the introduction of new IPs like the splendid Overwatch to massive cock-ups with the disappointing No Man's Sky, but no series has made a more bigger impact over the past 12 months than with Pokemon. First, Sun and Moon were announced, the 20th anniversary was celebrated, then some dickhead decided to review the Pokemon Mini with a swell dude before Pokemon Go was released on smartphones, which completely took the world by storm, and all of a sudden it was totally cool to call yourself a gamer. I mean, if I had told people that I played Pokemon in 2015, I would have got nothing but funny stares and be called a miserable low-life piece of shit. But now, because everybody loves Pokemon, I'm all of a sudden attracted to the buff teams whenever I talk about my level 100 Onix and my exquisite trading card collection. Swag. As I've said before, 2016 has been an amazing year for this beloved series, with Pokemon Go actively changing society for the better, and now it's about to get even better with a new generation, new region, and new Pokemon to stare at in Marvel. So, in a year when an orange-tanned bellend won a very important election, and dank memes are more popular than Jesus Christ, how good are these new games to the series? Well, let's find out. And to quote the late, great Sir Winston Churchill, "Punctured bicycle on a hillside desolate." Okay, so the game begins like with any other Pokemon adventure. You're introduced to a professor named after a tree. This time it's Professor Kukui, and she's between 3 starter Pokemon, from a Rowlet, Litten to a Poplio. Personally, I chose Litten, the fire starter, and I was gonna name him Twatted, but unfortunately I can't. How about Renboy? There we go, that's more like it. Also, I always plan on getting the 3 starters through the global trade system and training them up to be a part of my Dench team of Pokemon. The game's main attraction and premise is the Alola region, which consists of 4 islands inspired by Hawaii and is honestly a lot better and more drastic than what I was expecting. For one, the biggest change has been the lack of Pokemon gyms. Rather than visit each town to go battle a gym leader, Alola has island challenges. You're expected to take part in 7 trials and 4 grand trials across the region, and while this changes the typical structure of the series, it does so in a pleasant way to make the gameplay exciting and unpredictable than compared to its previous counterparts. Wait, what? Chicken skin? What the fuck is a chicken? The game's premise sees you playing as a young trainer embarking on an adventure to catch and train Pokemon, and you're accompanied by the likes of rival Hal, with his ungodly obsession with Malasadas, and Lily, Professor Kukui's assistant, who has a Cosmog named Nebby that always refuses to get inside her bloody bag. However, throughout your journey, you'll have to confront with the evil Team Skull, terrorizing the region by stealing innocent Pokemon. Hashtag Pokemon Lives Matter. Gameplay wise, nothing much has changed, but there are big improvements, one of which being the introduction of Z-power moves. By giving a Z-crystal to a Pokemon, it can use an extremely powerful attack once during a match, from a breakneck blitz to an all-out pummeling. And the best thing about this is that any Pokemon can use a Z-crystal, unlike the Mega Evolutions from X and Y where only a specific group of creatures could Mega Evolve. Another change to the game has been the lack of HM moves, which is a huge relief for fans. No more do you have to assign specific Pokemon as HM slaves to use the likes of Cut, Surf and Rock Smash. Instead, you can call up Pokemon via a pager, yes, a pager, to help you on your journey. For instance, you can use a Tauros to smash up rocks, a Lapras to ride on water, a Stoutland to search for items, and a Charizard to fly across the region. Also, one other new feature in the game is the Battle Royale, where 3 Pokemon are chosen by 4 players, either AI, local or online players, to compete in hectic battles, and a lot of strategy is necessary in order to succeed well in these intense fights. Analysing the strengths and weaknesses of your competitors is a thrilling experience, although unfortunately the frame rate does take a dip down the mode, which can easily hinder the enjoyment of what is a great new addition to the series. Aesthetically, this game looks fantastic and really pushes the 3DS to its limits. Similar to X and Y, Sun and Moon uses 3D graphics for gameplay and improves upon it in every way, and all 4 Alola regions have their own distinct personalities to boot, making Pokemon Sun and Moon one of the best looking games of the year, alongside the likes of Final Fantasy 15. Hey, check out this fucking piece of toast. Duh, what the fuck? The colours look sharper this time around, and the new Pokemon in this region look great, unlike say Generation 5 with the likes of Garbodor and the previous generation with such amazing Pokemon as Klefki. Okay Nintendo, that's just a set of keys, you didn't even try for goodness sake. On the subject of new critters are lowland forms of existing Pokemon, more specifically Generation 1 Pokemon, and they look funky, from the Ice-type Sandshrew, the multicoloured Mark, and the Dugtrio, who seem to be spotting a cool hairstyle. In conclusion, Pokemon Sun and Moon are both wonderful titles, and the changes that have been made are nothing but splendid. The new Pokemon are satisfying, modes such as Battle Royale are awesome, the island challenges are difficult yet rewarding, and the Alola region overall is an ideal setting for newcomers and experienced veterans of the series. Problem-wise, there's not much to worry about, but the biggest gripe I do have is that wild Pokemon now have the ability to call out for more Pokemon, which can be really annoying when you want to get done and finished with a fight, but you can't because you've got more enemies to fight. Also, you get told which moves are effective against other Pokemon, which while I do like myself, making battles easier, some players might not, and may see this as Game Freak dumbing down the mechanics to the more casual of gamers. All in all, this is one of the best games to have ever hit the 3DS, a console already filled to the brim with stunning titles, and I highly recommend it to anybody who has a 3DS. Heck, you should buy one alone just for Pokemon Sun and Moon, and you can get some pretty good deals online, like a 2DS with the game for £80 here in the UK.
Perfect.
Yo, Professor Kukui. It looks like he's jerking off. Gross.